Thank you for your support for my work. Please hit the subscribe button and the bell icon if you haven't. Also hit the like button for YouTube algorithm and let me know what you think of the video in the comment section below. Lastly, please share love of this content with the world. Oh, by the way, you can read the timestamp inside the description below and follow me on social media. Arigato. This is Songwriters Room, and I'm your host, Tomoko. Today's guest is Katherine C.H.E. Katherine is a singer-songwriter from the Hamptons, New York. She grew up in Nashville, Tennessee, in a house full of music. Singing and playing music were a part of her life from a very early age, and she developed her love of music, singing around the campfire and in-home span-song circles in private homes. That's why she titled her debut album Campfire Sessions, which shot to #1 on the Amazon folk album chart in 2016. That's right, it was not too long ago when she finally decided to pursue her music as a career. She had a late start because she lacked the confidence for a long time. But since she dropped everything and dedicated herself to music, Katherine has performed in many great venues in the Hamptons, New York City, and up and down the East Coast. She also teaches Voice and Performance 101 and offers numerous music education programs for libraries and other educational institutions. Her new album, Happy Songs All Day Long, is full of light-hearted, uplifting songs for children and the young at heart. Katherine also has a very special connection with flowers. She created a powerful healing and self-help system around flowers called Flower Archetype Success Technique, which she uses in her coaching and healing practice. She also invented the flower zodiac that reveals much about your personality based on your favorite flower, as well as flower meditation. I am definitely interested in hearing about this. Today, 2 lucky winners will receive MP3s of both of her campfire sessions and Happy Songs All Day Long by messaging me via tomokomusic.com and let me know which part of the show you liked. Can I get a whoop whoop? Whoop. So, ladies and gents, please welcome Katherine C.H.E.
Hi, Tomoko. It's so great to be here with you.
Thank you, Katherine, for being on Songwriters Room. But first, would you mind giving us a quick 15-second live so the audience can get a little taste, please?
Sure. This is a song I wrote about the place I live now. It's called In the Hamptons. Going to the beach or just taking a drive. I'm finally in the Hamptons. You know I've arrived. I'm in the Hamptons. Ooh la la, baby, in the Hamptons. Oh, yeah.
Ooh, that's so cute.
Thank you.
I love it. So singing around the campfire sounds so good to me. I love it. Were you always surrounded by many musicians in Nashville?
I was starting with my dad. He was an incredible musician and played the guitar. In fact, I have his guitar now. I have a bunch of his banjos, but he was a real harmonica virtuoso. He also played the piano and the ukulele and the trombone. And I picked up some of those instruments, but not all of them. In our house, my mom's tone deaf. She enjoys it, but we always had a lot of music. And I guess my dad attracted musical friends. And so when we would have dinner with friends, after dinner, the instruments would come out and people would start singing. And usually there'd be some sort of a fire. If it was warmer weather, maybe we'd be outside sitting by a stone fireplace outside. And if it was the winter, in somebody's den with the fire going in the fireplace. So it was really cozy and fun. And I just thought that's how the whole world rolled,
Awesome. I am jealous. I would love to do that. Another thing I want to talk about today, I can definitely relate to the fact that you lacked confidence to pursue music. My whole life, I had to relearn how to believe in myself. But everything happens for a reason. And I know that you are very happy now doing what you love to do. Am I right?
I sure am. And I think, when I was little, in my heart, it was always about singing. I would go out into the woods, and I remember there was a place where there was a fallen tree, and I would stand on it like it was my stage, and I would sing to the bunnies and the birds. When I would hear other kids singing, little girls singing with their pretty little voices, I always had more kind of a different tone to my voice. And when I would compare to them, I just thought, well, I must not be any good. Nobody took me aside and said, it's okay to be a little different. So.
Right. When we compare with others.
Not a good idea.
Not a good idea. We are our worst critics.
Sadly, that can be our default setting. Yeah, I worked really long and really hard to shift away from that. And I feel grateful that for the most part, I still have my moments, but for the most part, I'm much kinder to myself. So that's good.
Yes, absolutely. By the way, you look beautiful, and I love your room. My favorite color, pink.
Thank you. Thank you. I love pink too.
Now, moving on to your special connection with flowers.
Yes.
Would you please tell us about your inventions? Maybe you can use me as an experiment. I need flower healing.
Well, the flower, so one of the reasons I think I lacked confidence is that I had a lot of skin problems. My skin especially on my hands and sometimes on my face, it would get swollen and cracked and bleeding. And these are the things that interface with the world, our hands.
Right.
And so I kind of wanted to hide, right? And so I went on a long journey looking for the healing for myself, and I never found a system. And one day I was working with an energy healer, and just out of the blue, out of nowhere, she said, well, ask your friends the flowers. And I said, what are you talking about? We'd never spoken about flowers, anything. And before this, as a photographer, I had done a lot of photographs with flowers. So I had spent hours.
Wait, you are a photographer? I didn't even know this.
Yeah. So I've done a lot of different things in my life, but I had done a whole series of photographs. For years, I photographed flowers. And it was when my son was little, and sometimes I would have him, like in the papoose, or I'd have him in a stroller. And I was developed this really intense relationship with flowers, but I never really talked about it. And so she said, well, ask your friends the flowers. I said, what do you mean? And she said, I don't know. She said, it just, it was just something that popped into her head. And so I sat kind of, almost in a meditation. I tuned into my intuition, and I said, so here's my problem flowers. What can you do to help? And I just started seeing these images and messages with the images. The first one was a kind of a flower you may or may not know called the phlox. There are lots of different kinds of it, but the first one, it was a bright pink one, and it was about creativity. It was saying part of what is going on in your whole system is that you're not expressing your creativity enough. And so that's part of my healing, was digging in more, around my creativity. So then whenever something would come up, I would just say, okay, my friends, the flowers, what can you tell me about this? Or then as I developed more of a relationship with them, I would talk to a specific flower and say, tell me, what can you offer me, or what can you offer the world? Until I developed a system, and I worked with people, letting go of cancer, letting go of all different kinds of things. And so through that, I noticed that there were specific flowers that kept coming up. And so I created the flower zodiac. So what is your favorite flower, Tomoko?
Tulip.
The tulip. So the tulip flower, and that was one of the flowers in the zodiac because that comes up a lot. The tulip is a flower for people who love to learn and grow. It's about kind of fine-tuning ourselves and always learning new things. Pink, because I know you love pink. So the pink is about yourself. The pink tulip is about helping you to fine-tune your own energy, maybe your own self-love, maybe your self-confidence, but it's about kind of fine-tuning within yourself, not necessarily learning about, how to fix a car, which is something kind of outside of yourself. It's about learning more about yourself and fine-tuning yourself. It could be even learning about different techniques for singing, because that's something that comes out of you, so that's what the pink tulip is about. So when you're drawn to a flower, you either are a match for it, or it's something that you are craving more of in your life. And so the flower can help you kind of tune in to that energy.
Oh, kind of like a relationship. Interestingly, though, for tulip, my favorite color for tulip is yellow.
Ah, okay. Well, yellow is about strength. It is more about confidence. And so the yellow tulip would be maybe the confidence then to share what you learn.
Makes perfect sense.
They're
Wow.
pretty amazing.
I'm going to start calling you a flower goddess.
Thank you. I like that. I like that. Yeah, one of the beautiful side effects of doing all this for so many years is that I get the most wonderful messages from people. They'll say, look, send me a picture. I saw this gorgeous flower and I thought of you, like what could be better than that?
Every being has a spirit, and flower is very mysterious. And when you think about ecosystem and how beautiful it is, created from the inside out, is just amazing.
And I haven't pursued this entirely, but I have received songs from flowers. Yeah, the first song I received was from an allium, which is the flower like that's on a onion or garlic. And there are also some that are propagated for show, decorative. That energy, the energy of that song is about helping people to let go of a really heavy, heavy, heavy grief. And the one that came to my mind was the Trail of Tears that the Cherokee people were sent on when they were removed from their native land here. And so that heavy, heavy grief that kind of a grief that they were experiencing at the time, the allium flowers can help you to let go of that and help you to remember who we really are and not to get stuck in those feelings.
Wow, that's deep.
Yeah. So there are lots of different ways you can interact with the flowers. You can think and sing the songs, or you can look at their pictures, or you can just ask them, yellow tulip energy, please, come into my energy field and help me. You don't even have to have the flower around at all. Very woo-woo, esoteric out there.
So how do you meditate on flowers?
Well, there are lots of different ways. You can just pull an image of a flower into your mind and just kind of meditate on it. But I have created also guided meditations that connect them to their specific energy. Like the pink rose, I have one where you visualize it blooming in your heart and then spreading out, the petals kind of going out in all directions. And each one is a little different. The cherry blossom, it's a visualization of floating through a cherry tree that's in bloom. It really depends on what the energy is that the flower is offering. I had a different guided experience for them.
Yeah, for rose, I like baby pink.
Mm-hmm.
Japanese people, we love cherry blossoms.
Well, cherry blossom, I do too. I have a big cherry tree outside of my bedroom window, and that's the energy of pure joy.
Yeah. I didn't know that. Wow, I love it. Is there a zodiac chart?
Well, I'm not currently really promoting this aspect of what I do. I still have people reach out to me from time to time who, knew I did that before, some older clients when they need a little fine tuning or whatever. For a while, I did have all of that up on the internet, but I guess you can kind of see a little bit of it on my website, the CatherineCHEmusic.com, information about that. So if you want to connect with me about it, I'm still available.
Fantastic. People can check out your music and everything else.
Yeah.
Great. So let's get to the part 2 of songwriting. I hope you enjoyed part 1. Please continue to watch part 2 about songwriting as well. And don't forget to click subscribe and hit the bell to get notified about new videos of Songwriters Room, my new music, or Japanese series. Arigato! I hope you enjoyed part 1. Please continue to watch part 2 about songwriting as well. And don't forget to click subscribe and hit the bell to get notified about new videos of Songwriters Room, my new music, or Japanese series. Arigato!